Hey, what's up, guys? My name's Isaiah Hill, and today I'm going to be reviewing the first part of the Back to the Future trilogy. And let me just show you like how awesome this is. Like, see, you got the car right there, and you got just the full blown car, and it's just so cool. That's why I like Steelbooks because sometimes they do look this awesome. But back to the review. Back to the Future stars Michael J. Fox, Christopher Lloyd, Leah Thompson, Crispin Glover, and Tom Wilson. It was directed by Robert Zemeckis, written by Robert Zemeckis and Bob Gale, who also happened to be a producer on the film. And if you look at the top, it says Steven Spielberg presents. Now, a little quick note: I am a huge Steven Spielberg fan. I love Spielberg movies, and you'll definitely be seeing some more Spielberg movies to come. The first Back to the Future film, I find it to be one of the greatest sci-fi movies ever made. This is a childhood film. I grew up watching this movie. This is a film that I can pretty much recite from memory. Um, but anyway, the plot is Marty McFly, who is a slacker, takes his best friend's Doc Brown's DeLorean accidentally back in time. Now, Doc is made this entire time machine out of a DeLorean, which is a pretty cool car, and the car itself is awesome in the movie. But if you think about it, it's kind of like a terrorist like type thing because he uses plutonium to generate the 1.21 gigawatts in order to go through time. But like in later in the film, like of you see like 1955 because that's the time Marty accidentally goes back to, and he meets his father and mother and ends up like being his mother's crush. If you haven't seen this film, I highly recommend it. This is literally an amazing film. I have seen this film ever since I was a kid. Um, when I remember when I was like around like 5, 6 years old, my brother and I, we used to go outside in my dad's car and we'll reenact scenes from the movie. Um, it's the trilogy itself holds a special meaning. I really like how it feels. It feels like a film that you just enjoy. The film itself is just, it's like every time you go back and watch it, you find something new. With Back to the Future, you got a lovable cast. You got characters that you love to hate, and you want to see like basically the ending. The acting is phenomenal. They are perfectly cast. In fact, Michael J. Fox was the very first choice, but he was busy with his hit show Family Ties at the time, so they couldn't cast him because the creator wouldn't let him go. And I believe like the actress who played his mother was actually pregnant, so he was carrying a lot more on the show. And they cast Eric Stoltz. Don't worry, Eric Stoltz is he's a great actor. I do like some of Eric Stoltz movies. They cast him, and apparently he took it too seriously than what Galen Zemeckis wanted, and they fired him. And then when Michael J. Fox's schedule cleared, they immediately cast him, but it was a compromise. He will work from like 6 a.m. to like, I believe it was like 6 p.m., like 12 hours on just Family Ties alone. Then he would go to the set on Back to the Future, like in the back of a station wagon with like a bed in the back so he can grab a nap. And it was shoot like late at night, and he'll have to be like dragged into his house for bed, and then wake up and do it all over again. So, and weekends were the only time they were able to get day scenes. So that must have been like a very like tough shoot. But he speaks very highly of it, and Who would blame it? It's a very enjoyable movie. Now, I have a thing of rating scales of amazing, great, good, bad, and horrible. Amazing is like where I enjoyed the film and I'm able to, and it has flaws, but every film has its flaws, but I'm able to look past those flaws because it's just overall like amazing. I really like how these films like come together. It feels so great. Great is where the film I enjoy, but I feel like there could have been more, like slightly more. Like let's just say like Back to the Future. Oh, I wish I saw more of I kind of wish I saw much more Biff. Really, I do not want to see so much more of Biff because I don't like Biff, but but that's an example. Good is where there should have been more. I mean, the film itself, like there's stuff there that is like amazing, like it's really enjoyable, but I feel like there should have been a lot more, like more background, and I'll explain that with some of my films. Bad is where the film is not good at all. It's so bad, but it's enjoyable too. Like at times, like there is something there that I would watch in a bad film. Like let's say I do a bad like film, and I would be like, there's something like, oh, it was nostalgia, oh, it was this or was that. There's something that I enjoy. Horrible is a film that I never ever want to see again, and I do own like a few horrible films that I never want to see again. And don't worry, none of these are on horrible. Back to the Future, really, it was like so fresh that you could not even describe it. An awesome theme song, "The Power of Love," and also "Back in Time." And we're gonna talk about the music. Huey Lewis even makes a cameo saying that they're just too darn loud, like when Marty's auditioning for band, for like a band, like for a dance, and with a band for a dance. I'm sorry about that, but Huey Lewis says they're just too loud, and what's funny is that they're playing "The Power of Love." Um, the music is phenomenal. Like Alan Silvestri, I forget. I'm so sorry if I butcher his name, but he writes amazing like scores. Back to the Future is probably my favorite because the theme is just so awesome. He has recently been doing the Marvel movies. I believe he did Endgame and he did Captain America, which I really love. Um, Back to the Future is definitely a film that I will highly recommend to anyone. It's a film that I think many will enjoy. If you haven't seen it, please watch it. The film is unbelievably good, in my opinion. It's phenomenal with like how the cast blend, how the how the script is. The script is like almost perfect. Um, the setting, the feel, and overall atmosphere. Because there are times that are genuinely funny, like they are hilarious. Sometimes where you'll find yourself like, wow, this is serious. But at times you'll also see like whoa, I want to see more. And which is kind of like what the end of the first film did, because famously the last scene is like, Doc, you better back up. We don't have enough road to get up to 88. And Doc's like, roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads. Which I heard was actually quoted by Ronald Reagan by saying, as they say in Back to the Future, where we're going, we don't need roads. And there's a funny Ronald Reagan reference. A little history on that. Ronald Reagan, supposedly when he first saw the film, when Doc's like, who's president in 1985? Marty says, Ronald Reagan. To where Doc's like, Ronald Reagan, the actor? Reagan found it so funny that he actually had them go back. He had a projectionist go back and to see the joke because he found it so funny. Um, if like with the Zemeckis, like with Bob Zemeckis, you can even see like it's the style. It feels so real. It feels like that you're actually there, and it's so enjoyable, all the way from the beginning to the climax to even the ending. Um, when the film opens, it's clocks. Like that is Back to the Future. So I think it's time. It's all about time. And if you look when they're doing like the pan, you can see a guy hanging off the clock, and it's kind of foreshadows the climax. But then when you meet Marty, like after like all the cool and gadgets, like turning on the radio that turns on like coffee pot, turns on TV, turns on the dog, like the can opener, and you go through Marty, and he does like and he basically blows up like an amplifier, and it just keeps going, but you don't want it to stop. I will highly recommend Back to the Future. Stay tuned for tomorrow, and I'll be giving you Back to the Future Part 2. My name is Isaiah Hill. I hope you enjoyed your review. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe to for more. So this is Isaiah Hill signing off.